We're expecting jury deliberations to begin today in the trial of quadruple murder suspect Adam Matos.
The Brown family lived a simple, good life on their farm in Pennsylvania. Greg Brown worked hard as an architectural and engineering executive, bringing home the bacon while his wife Maggie cared for their 3 children and the many animals that filled their days: horses, goats, sheep, chickens, donkeys, and cows. They were a close, fun-loving couple who did everything together and seemed built to last forever. Their niece Amber grew up almost like one of their own. She loved the farm more than anywhere else and spent every weekend she could there. Amber and the Browns' youngest child, their only daughter Megan, became more than cousins. They were best friends. Megan was lively, loving, and full of care for everyone around her. Her older brother Aaron felt the same tight bond. To him, she was less a little sister and more a best friend. Megan shone brightest on the track. She was a medal-winning star who earned a full scholarship to Penn State University. Beautiful, smart, and athletic, she drew attention easily. One of the young men who came around was Adam Matos, an aspiring avant-garde DJ. Megan thought he was handsome, exactly her type, and for a while she was happy. Whether it was deep love or simply the excitement of a good-looking man treating her well is hard to say. Before long, she was pregnant with his child. The family was thrilled about the baby, even if they knew little about Adam. Shortly after Megan learned she was expecting, the couple split up. There was not much talk of a shared future. Yet after their son Tristan was born, a beautiful boy who would need extra care because of autism, Megan and Adam reunited for the child's sake. Adam even moved into the Brown family home with the parents' blessing. Greg was a kind man who could not easily turn away the father of his daughter's baby and his own grandson. Maggie, however, grew less fond of Adam as time passed. She saw that he did little to help, cleaned up after himself rarely, and contributed almost nothing. Arguments between Megan and Adam became common. She called him a deadbeat. He did not like hearing it. Verbal fights filled the house. When Greg retired, the family sold the Pennsylvania farm and moved to Florida for a quieter life. They rented a waterfront house in Hudson, about 20 miles from Tampa, while their dream home in the Keys was being built. Megan, Tristan, and Adam came along. The adults hoped to give the little boy as normal a family as possible. Maggie took a job as a convenience store cashier. Megan waitressing at a local bar. Adam worked briefly in a restaurant kitchen before losing the job. Unemployed and idle, he stayed home with Tristan while Megan began going out with new friends. Jealousy ate at him. He grew angry whenever she stayed out late, especially if men were involved. One morning, Megan came home near dawn after another night out. Adam put a knife to her throat and cut her hand badly while their young son watched and panicked. Bleeding and terrified, Megan called 911. She told the dispatcher her son's father had attacked her. Police arrived to find her distraught and wounded. Adam had already fled. In the hours that followed, he sent threatening texts saying he would come back and finish the job. Days passed with no further contact from the Browns. A relative finally called the police, worried that no one had answered phones or texts for nearly a week. Officers found the house empty but noticed the heavy smell of death. An open door led to the garage. Behind the family van, they saw blankets stained with blood. Nearby, in a wooded area less than a mile away, a veteran officer discovered a pile of badly decomposed bodies under a tree. Detectives quickly linked the missing family to the grim find. Inside the house, luminol turned the floors pink with trails of blood that someone had tried to clean. The van held more blood, maggots, and a shovel. Investigators believed the killer had tried to bury the bodies in the yard, but hit hard lime rock only a foot down, then loaded them into the van and dumped them in the woods. The medical examiner identified the dead as Greg Brown, Maggie Brown, their daughter Megan, and a young man named Nicholas Leonard. Tristan was missing. Adam Matos became the prime suspect. Detectives also looked at Nick Leonard at first. Megan had met him after moving to Florida. He was a carpenter and landscaper who told his own family he had found the love of his life and hoped one day to marry her. They had kept the romance quiet because Adam still lived in the house and could be trouble. Nick's parents worried when they heard Adam had threatened him. Still, the two young people continued seeing each other. Nick had been among the friends Megan was with the night Adam attacked her with the knife. When Nick suddenly disappeared, his sister feared the worst. The medical examiner's findings confirmed her fear. Nick was one of the bodies in the woods. Tristan was still alive. Police believed he was with his father. A week after the murders, they traced Adam to a Tampa hotel. Security video showed him checking in under his own name and calmly leading 4-year-old Tristan to their room. Officers arrested Adam on the earlier domestic violence charges without telling him the bodies had been found. He appeared calm. When asked who should care for Tristan, he suggested the boy go back to Megan or her parents, people he claimed not to know were dead. Only later, while locked up, did he learn the truth. He denied killing anyone and suggested instead that a jealous ex-girlfriend of Nick's might be responsible. Detectives checked the lead carefully. The woman had stalked Nick for years and once called Megan to warn her off, but she had a solid alibi far from Florida and no connection to Adam. She was ruled out. Attention returned fully to Adam. Tristan, now in the care of relatives, began to speak. The autistic little boy described hearing a gunshot and his mother pleading, "Please, please don't." He took a doll, wrapped it in a blanket, and pounded on it while saying, "Mommy, Mommy." Then he told investigators that Daddy killed Mommy. With that statement and the physical evidence, prosecutors built a clear picture of the crime. On the night of the murders, Adam returned to the house after the earlier knife attack. He waited outside. When Maggie came home from her late shift around midnight, he attacked her in the garage with a hammer, striking her repeatedly in the head. He tied her up and put a plastic bag over her head. Then he went upstairs, still carrying the hammer, and found Nick in the bedroom with Megan. He beat Nick with roughly 21 blows to the head until he could take Nick's gun. Megan and Tristan ran to the master bedroom where Greg, a hunter, was trying to load a weapon. Adam shot Greg twice before the older man could defend the family. He then shot Megan once in the face, the bullet striking her left eye. Tristan heard and saw much of the horror. In the days that followed, while the bodies still lay in the house, Adam stayed there with his son. He placed Craigslist ads selling the family's jewelry, electronics, and even the dogs Maggie had bred, $50 a puppy. One buyer said the dog smelled so bad it needed several baths. Adam ordered pizzas delivered to the murder scene. He told neighbors the family had gone to West Virginia on a hunting trip and visited them as if nothing were wrong. When police finally came, he fled with Tristan through backyards, stole a canoe, paddled across the water, and took a cab to Tampa. Charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, Adam claimed self-defense at trial. He said he only returned to collect his belongings. According to him, Nick grabbed him by the throat and pulled a gun. Adam wrestled it away and then beat Nick with the hammer until he stopped. He said he killed Maggie the same way because he feared for his life. He shot Greg as the older man turned with a rifle, and he shot Megan because he thought she held something in her hand. He could not explain why he never called the police, why he threw the weapons into a nearby canal, why he bought a shovel on camera after the killings, or why he tried to bury the bodies and then dumped them in the woods so Tristan wouldn't be exposed. Prosecutors tore the story apart. It matched neither the evidence nor common sense. The jury found Adam Moss guilty of first-degree murder in the deaths of Nicholas Leonard, Greg Brown, Maggie Brown, and Megan Brown. 11 of the 12 jurors voted for the death penalty. The single dissenting vote meant life in prison without parole instead. The judge said that if any case ever cried out for death, this one did. In court, Adam offered a brief apology. Megan's brother Aaron shouted him down. The judge sentenced him to life and spoke of the only true survivor, little Tristan, who would grow up knowing his father had murdered his mother and grandparents. As part of the arrangement, Tristan's new adoptive mother would send photographs of the boy to Adam in prison until the child turned 12. The farm, the track medals, the Florida waterfront dreams, and 4 lives had all been destroyed by jealousy, rage, and one man's inability to let go.